What's up with y'all, man? It's your boy David. We back with another reaction video today. Your history teacher lied to you. Now, 9 times out of 10, they probably didn't lie to you. But let's see what this nigga got to say about that, because they might have lied to you. I don't know. Let's see if history is really as it seems. But with that being said, make sure y'all like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get to it.
Hello, children. Welcome to the fantabulous world of Extra Tug, full of educational and children-friendly content. That's definitely what this is, so come on in. It's only $4 a month, and it's a lot of fun perks. Chris, why would you put that on the screen? You're ruining it. You're ruining it for everybody. Happy 250th birthday, America. We've officially hit MILF status. Motherland that I want to frolic in.
Damn, did it hit MILF status when they were like 40? What the fuck? God damn, brother.
We're having sex with Purple Mountain's Majesty up in this piece. That's right, 2026 is the 250th anniversary of America declaring independence from the toothless bandits who ran the world for a little bit. And we're making sure everyone's here for the party.
For a little bit? Nigga, they ran the world for centuries. What the fuck? God damn, bro. Great Britain is the reason why everybody around the globe speaks English. Damn near every single person on Earth speaks English. Put that into perspective, bro. That's crazy.
Ain't that right, Marudo? We kidnapped someone else's president.
Bro, they had this nigga in a Nike Tech with his eyes and ears covered on a fucking stealth bomber and put his ass in New York. And then we took him to court and judged him in a United States court, though he is the president of another country. How the fuck? God, yo, these niggas got, the United States, if anything, them niggas got power, bruh, no cap.
I'm scared. I'm terrified. I didn't know we could do that. I mispronounced,
I didn't either. They walked in his trap, took over his trap. I'm not gonna lie.
Maduro. I don't know how to say. I still know. I'm reading it. I don't know how to say it. That's on me. Sorry.
It's Maduro. No, Maduro. This goddamn salt and pepper ass dude.
I'm not following the story because it's making me scared. And by the way, 250 years is called a semi-quincentennial. And now that we've all learned a fun fact, this video is now seen by the algorithm as educational, which makes me richer and a liar. Now, because we are Americans, we love yanking our own chains. It's what we're known for. And because of—
oh my god, no cap. I ain't gonna lie, America, bro. One of my favorite things any American president has said regarding how dominant America is was Joe Biden. That nigga said at the Olympics, he said, "We are America. We are America." He could have said, "We're America and we're number one." He could have said that. That would have been okay, cool, whatever. That nigga said, "We're America and we own the finish line." That was fucking crazy. I don't know what they put in that old man coffee that day. That nigga was, he was on one. He was feeling that shit. I ain't gonna lie, nigga. Shit.
that, there's gonna be a lot of hoopla over this next year. We're talking fireworks, we're talking potlucks. I think we're even planning a classy UFC fight on the White House lawn. Poor people fighting for the entertainment of the billionaire class. My goodness, this bread is so yummy, and this circus isn't half bad. Now, a lot of this patriotic sizzle will peak around July 4th, but I wanted to get it started today, on the most important day of the year, Martin Luther King Jr. Day Eve.
God Almighty, we are free at last.
Martin had a dream. That way, when those red, white, and blue fireworks fly, you'll know the origin story of the U.S., which is one full of myths, tall tales, and outright lies. They were fibbing to us the whole time. It's a big tug video. You thought we were gonna get through this without being hyperbolically anti-American? I love riling up the patriots. I love getting them angry enough to comment, and it gives me algorithm bait. It's perfect. But I'm not like being a dick for the sake of being a dick. I mean,
especially them dudes I was talking about the halftime show. They were like, "Oh my God, Bad Bunny is not American. I'm not watching this bullshit." Bro, we do not care. Bro, them niggas had a Turning Point USA show. That shit had like 6 million people. The halftime show, 136 million people were watching the halftime show. That was huge. Boy, that show was, nigga. And somebody got married on that motherfucker too. That's crazy. Somebody got married on that shit. That's crazy too, bro. That's wild.
There's been a lot of lies taught to us as children in this United States of America. Your history teacher lied to you. Your parents lied to you. The government lied to you. I can't believe it. But today, the lie
I fucking can't either, bro. Like, the government be out here lying to people and shit. Could y'all believe it, nigga? Did y'all know the sky is blue? Fuck. Man, did y'all know, like, fishes live in the ocean? Oh, holy shit.
stop here. Kinda. I mean, you guys know me. I lie sometimes, but not on purpose. I lie because I am bad at research, not because I'm trying to spread misinformation, which I don't know if that's better. That might be worse, honestly.
That's actually worse, but I understand that being bad at research thing, bro. Research is hard. I don't know what anybody, bro. Research is hard, bro. This shit's not easy at all.
But disclaimers of stupidity out of the way. Tuglets, grab your fire extinguishers because Lady Liberty is a liar with her pants on fire. Or her skirt. Why is she wearing sandals? And what's that silly little hat she's wearing? Why does she wear a little crown? Is she
She do got her toes out. That is crazy.
from the Bible times? I don't get it. So if you're looking for proof that America's history is full of misinformation, you don't have to look far.
First of all, let's actually slow it down. I don't mean to glaze America too much, but holy fuck. Look at the pose. Look at the aura. Look at the ice. This nigga is so clean. Oh my god. And then look at this nigga burying the flag. Oh my god. That was tough.
America started writing its own fictitious lore right off the jump. If Wattpad was around in the 1500s, America would be the #1 tag, right behind plague, sex. I don't know. A good example of this is the explorer who quote-unquote discovered America, Christopher Columbus. You might remember that little poem from elementary.
He didn't discover America. He got fucking lost. He thought it was in India, but ended up in the West Indies. And yeah.
School that goes in 14.
And he had slaves. And he was very, very mean to his slaves. He's a weirdo.
1592, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. 1492. I was pretty close. And there's other stuff that happens later in that poem, but no one remembers that stuff because who the hell cares? The Santa Pinta,
Right, fuck that dude. I don't care about his history. Fuck him.
Mantaria, boats, I don't care. But that's technically all you need to remember because that's the only part true about Columbus's journey that we were ever taught. Everything else, lies. Italian-American boulder dash. Bing bong. Italian-Americans proudly view Columbus as an Italian explorer, but there's just one problem. He couldn't have been an Italian because Italy wasn't a goddamn country yet. It became a country in 1861. So, whoops. Should have checked the globe before spouting off who discovered this big rock we're living on. Oh! He was born in Genoa, which is a port city in what is now known as modern-day Italy. I hate to break it to you, it doesn't count, brother. That's like calling the Neanderthals that they found in France French. Like, that doesn't make sense. Except it kind of makes sense because the French people look and smell like cavemen. Hey-o, another zinger against the French. Chris, put it on the counter. The French counter. But the thing is, Columbus didn't...
Why do people hate French people? Why do people hate French people so much? I kind of see why. Because they are, like, I heard, like, they be, I heard Paris is really fucking disgusting and stinky. That's what I heard. But I don't know.
Didn't even stick around in Genoa like that. He was there briefly. He left at a young age and established himself in Portugal, in Spain. He was an Iberian, for Christ's sakes, an Iberian. And while it's true that Columbus did think that the earth was round, literally everyone else did at that point in history. He wasn't on the cutting edge of this knowledge. There's a pun there. There's a pun there about flat earth. Oh, God, I can't do it. I think comedy is good enough if you just acknowledge a joke is there and don't actually make a joke. You know what I'm saying? Comedy.
Bro, let that bitch go. I go like, bro, I want to hear the joke, bro. Yeah, let that whole fly, dude. Fuck these niggas.
Is easy. But round earthen was a very well-established fact by the 15th century, which goes to show just how incredibly stupid anyone after the 15th century would have to be to believe that the earth isn't round. I'm not going to get into it because that would take up the rest of this video. Oh, wow, actually, this is weird. It says later in life, Columbus changed his mind about the earth being round. So he was
So he's a dumbass. He's just a fucking, he's a walking, nigga's just a walking retard. Like, just dumb. Everybody, that's like, bro, that's like going to class and then your teacher teaches you like, oh, like, I don't know, 1 + 1 = 2. And you're like, actually, what? And you're in that class, you learn 1 + 1 = 2. You then go and leave that class and go live a regular life. And then many years later, you sit down and you're deaf and you're like, maybe 1 + 1 wasn't 2. Like, bitch, are you serious? What are you doing?
stupid. However, he didn't think it was flat.
Look at this stupid ass. Look at this fucking moron, bro. Look at this pretentious dick. Look at this dick bag with his dumbass 5 o'clock shave, bro. Look at him, bro. What a bitch.
That would be silly. No, he actually thought the Earth was pear-shaped, with a nipple at the top being the Garden of Eden. I love that a brief time on this Earth was you were able to believe in science and also a little bit of magic. I think we should bring that back. I think that's fantastic. All that being said, this guy wasn't even the first asshole that discovered America. That happened about 500 years earlier when Norse explorer Leif Erikson first set foot on North American soil. So he didn't discover anything new.
Which is actually cool as fuck. I did not know Leif Erikson. Like, I mean, I knew, but when I first learned that, I was like, "There's no fucking way this Viking ass nigga did that shit. That's crazy. What? That's crazy." That was a very interesting fact I learned, bro.
He didn't even know he landed on a continent, and he thought the Earth had a nipple. And we gave this guy a fucking holiday. And listen, I get being mad about celebrating Columbus Day. We probably shouldn't do it, but let's just take the 3-day holiday and focus on the bigger issues right now. Let's not take this away from us. Let's celebrate it in our own way, but let's not take the day away, because holy shit, I love taking a Monday off. Or Friday, I don't know what day.
Hey, don't take the day away. Just make it National Indigenous People Day or some shit. Something actually positive and like reconstructive, you know? I don't want to celebrate a nigga that thinks the Earth is flat. I don't want to do that. What the fuck? Yo!
It falls on. Now, the Spanish and English tried and failed to build settlements in North America during the 1500s, but they finally cracked the code in 1607 when Jamestown became the first permanent English settlement. But how did those savvy Jamestown colonists find out how to survive when no one else could do it? Was it Squanto and Sacagawea teaching them to put fish in the ground to grow plants? No, it was cannibalism. They ate people. I bet you weren't taught that. Cannibalism was the talk of the town on early Pilgrim life. During a particularly rough winter in 1609, the starving settlers started digging up the dead bodies and eating them. You guys weren't even eating the fresh dead bodies? You were digging up the old ones? Listen, cannibalism is cannibalism. I'm not gonna judge, but you know.
Hey, matey, he's already dead. Just fucking eat him. Just dig him out the ground and throw some salt on him and fucking eat him. You're hungry, you're starving, man. Just fucking eat him. Like, yo, those are eating John and Maggot and Penny and shit. That's crazy.
I feel like fresh meat would be better. I don't know. So this isn't a lie per se, but I just wanted it out in the open that the creation of America was partially fueled by consuming human flesh. Now, to avoid the unsavory conversation about self-preservation in the early times of this country, school children are introduced to English settlers with the second permanent colony, Plymouth. New England, baby. Let's go look at a rock for a field trip. Dunkin' Donuts, D'Angelo's, Papagino's. Plymouth's residents came over on the Mayflower.
All those three things sounded so goddamn boring and so white and gentrified. Like, it actually hurt my soul to hear all that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
And we're told they sailed to the New World to escape religious persecution. AKA the British were too ungodly because they were having sex once a year, and our ancestors were like, that's awful and gay. We're gonna leave. And while it's true that they originally left England for that reason, they didn't set sail for America. The Pilgrims first escaped to the Dutch city of Leiden, where they were completely free to ditch all the obnoxious Catholic vibes and practice their weenie brand of Christianity. It wasn't until 12 years after they achieved religious freedom that they left for America to escape poverty. Turns out there's no money and being a bunch of prude assholes and making everyone around you hate you. Not only were the Pilgrims fiscally motivated to move, but they weren't even that big on the whole religious tolerance thing. But wow, that's so weird. The first Americans wanted religious freedoms for themselves, but they also wanted to judge every other religion freely? Whoa! Shocking. Colored me shocked. So, a lot of lies so far, but at least we know they landed on this big, beautiful Plymouth Rock, because that rock is there, and we like to talk about it a lot. Right? Wrong. That's a lie. Why is that rock even existing? They landed on the shore of Plymouth, but there's no historical record of Plymouth Rock until 121 years later. The rock is totally made up. They made a lie up about a totally random boulder on a beach, which blows my mind.
For what? For what? For clout? For 17th century clout? Yo, these Americas, they're so fucking lame, bro.
Because it doesn't even make the story any more interesting. They saw a rock? What are you talking about? Honestly, it's just starting to feel like the Pilgrims were pathological liars at this point, which coincidentally doesn't bode well for the story of Thanksgiving. I think we all kind of know this one's bullshit at this point. Turns out our picturesque version of Turkey Day is pretty different from the
like, oh my god, the Pilgrims and the Native Americans all got together and ate together and lived and laughed and loved life together. Ah ha ha ha. Nigga, I remember the first time hearing that shit, I kind of believed it. Then I got a little older and I started living life. And even before I knew that was bullshit, I was like, ain't no fucking way them crackers and those Native Americans out here enjoying this shit together. Boy, them Native Americans, if they saw that, they would probably fuck around and scalp them niggas, bro. I ain't gonna lie. No cap. They would have fucked around and scalped them pilgrims, bruh.
Actual event. Sure, there was a big old meal in the fall, but this was nothing new at the time. Indigenous and English cultures both already had meals and ceremonies that revolved around the harvest. And this wasn't even the first time the groups came together for a meal. It wasn't like a big kumbaya powwow. Just a few months earlier, the Wampanoag and the English had signed a peace treaty, so f it, they can share a meal. This wasn't big news. And because of their new peace treaty signing, they didn't even think this was like a friendly get-together. It was more of like a discussion over like logistics and politics. They were going over who owned the pigs around Lake Chugagaga, Man Chugagaga, Chubungamunga.
So they weren't even eating. They were just out here talking about straight business, nigga. Like, this ain't, we not friends, nigga. You touch my lake, my pig on my lake, I'ma scalp you and your clique. Your whole clique and scalp, nigga. We give you niggas haircuts on God. Okay.
It really wasn't anything besides that. That's actually a real lake in Massachusetts. Did you know that? Lake Chugagaga, Man Chugagaga, Chubungamunga. That's a real lake. You can look it up. It's in Webster. Oh, and the evidence suggests that they didn't even eat turkey. So what the f? They ate deer and geese and maybe some mashed up pumpkins. They completely ignored the turkey, which is crazy because turkeys are such big birds with so much meat and they're everywhere in Massachusetts. So they're just being lazy. It's hard to kill a bird. All right, so the Pilgrims were massive liars. But you know which American figure wasn't a liar historically and anecdotally? George Washington. Georgie Dub. God damn it, just hearing his name gets me all jazzed up. I want to get hammered and drive a speedboat and put a kid on a tube behind it and almost kill him. But lying, it was the opposite. That it was against his whole ethos.
I used to think George Washington was cool till I realized his mouth was full of the teeth of slaves and he owned slaves, and remember, he owned fucking slaves. I don't respect that nigga. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. There's nothing to respect about that goddamn toothless son of a bitch. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what George Washington was all about, telling the truth. I'm sure most of us were taught in school that a young George Washington received a hatchet and used it to cut down a cherry tree.
But this is the most cursed fucking shit ever. Look at this grown man face on this little ass body. Like, this is cursed.
And when his father confronted him about it, he said, "Father, I cannot tell a lie." And yeah, that's not a true story, but whatever. Now, telling a lie about a story about not lying is a little but it's a fairy tale, you know, it's a parable, you know, we didn't actually believe that, right? Actually, it was a lie told by a minister, which I guess is pretty common, actually. Mason Weems, or Wems, fabricated this story for his 1806 edition of his George Washington biography. And sadly, gang, that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to old George Washington lying, because there's a lot of that shit. I want to love him so much because he's so cool and weird, but we botched this one, gang. We f***ed it hard. For one, lots of what we were taught about his appearance was absolutely wrong. You know that white wig he's always depicted as wearing? Never wore one. Never wore one once. He just put a bunch of powder in his hair to give it that dapper 18th century wig look.
And you know that dapper 18th century wig look that they used to hide the lice and the fucking syphilis and all the crazy ass diseases that they had on their dirty ass scalps? Yeah, that shit, bro.
But no wig, which was a weird move, like a mentally ill move, even for the time. And you know how he had wooden teeth? That's not true. It's actually
he had the teeth of slaves in his mouth.
It's actually way worse, way unbelievably worse than
say it, my nigga, just say it.
That. He had several sets of dentures in his life, but they were made out of pretty much everything except wood, including human, cow, and horse teeth. But where did those human
and guess what? The humans were
teeth come from, you ask? Bad question. I wouldn't have asked it. Well, they either came from poor people who sold them to death.
Stop fucking playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me. Please answer, bro. Be for real.
Census for a quick buck, which holy that's sad as hell. Or slave.
There we go.
Which is equally, not even equally, way worse.
Absolutely way fucking worse. Could you imagine? Nigga woke up, had a great day, or as good as a day you can have being a fucking slave. I don't fucking know, bro. It's just, you know, being a slave is worse than death, right? You wake up, you're on the field till your fucking back breaks, and then after that, they sit you down, tie you down, and pluck a tooth out your fucking mouth. Like, God, man, this is crazy.
Than that other one.
And then your tooth goes to this white son of a bitch. Like, what?
It was mostly slaves. He owned slaves. And remember, this was before anesthetic, so he was ripping these puppies out of people's heads fully awake, fully just no numbing. Unless they were pulling them from dead bodies, which also Oh my god. But also, in the grand scheme of things, looks don't really matter, right, gang? Or owning slaves? Sorry, I'm trying to make this work. What matters is that George Washington was a winner on the battlefield. He was out there, making moves, shooting redcoats, pow pow pow. Oh wait, actually it says here that he was rarely victorious and lost way more battles than he won, especially early on. Damn, dude, that's like the one thing I have left of him.
Nigga just trash. He's just trashing the own slaves. I don't fucking know, bro. He's just terrible. Fuck him.
Me. I guess it's a good thing that, contrary to popular belief, we had a lot of help during the American Revolution. In addition to guns and money, the French sent about 12,000 soldiers to fight, plus tens of thousands of naval personnel on dozens of ships. Maybe I've been too hard on the French. No, it's the French who are wrong. It's always the French who are wrong. Okay, well maybe Washington wasn't fully responsible for winning the revolution, but he did have a big hand into shaping what the ethos of America would become. While visiting Philadelphia in 1776, he asked...
This didn't happen either. I heard about this shit. I remember they literally told us this didn't happen.
Betsy Ross to sew the first American flag. Excellent. He formed the first American aesthetic. Old Georgie Tastemaker is what they called him. Oh, god damn it. No, that's a myth. That's a myth. God damn it. In 1873, Ross's grandson made the claim, and Harper's Magazine just ran that story. However, all evidence points to Francis Hopkinson as the real designer of the American flag. And we have the receipts to prove it. In 1780, he billed Congress for his work, and his fee was actually a quarter cask of wine, which the American government refused to pay. That's...
So they fucking fleeced the nigga that made their flag. They fleeced the nigga who made their flag. This country fleeced the nigga who made their flag. Oh my god, bro.
That's as American as it gets. But a woman taking credit for a man's work, not on my watch. Not on my watch, not in this great country. But I know what you're all thinking right now. Who the f is Francis Hopkinson? And who is that man? Well, it might shock you to hear this, but
It just sounds some random white dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Hopkinson is one of America's founding fathers. Which sounds really special and exclusive. I mean, we only got like 5 of them, right? Well, no, actually, the opposite. There were a shit ton of American founding fathers. We just don't hear about all of them. Basically, it turns out the term founding father is really vague. For founding fathers, here's the list of A-listers that we taught about in school. But depending on how broadly the term is applied, anyone who signed the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, or the Bill of Rights could get the title. You didn't even have to sign all of them, just one of them. And then you'd become a founding father, which is crazy. And considering that 55 people attended the Constitutional Convention, that's a butt ton of smelly dudes in a hot room. Hell, not everyone in attendance even signed the damn thing. They were just looky-loos. And this includes one of the most famous founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. This guy's on our money. What the—
I think he's a founding father because he was literally because he was a president. That's what made him like a founding father. And did he write the Declaration? He wrote it. So that's why this slave owning motherfucker became a founding father, you know?
What the hell was he doing during while everyone else was working hard writing the Constitution? He was just sitting there, finger popping his butthole? Oh, actually, he wasn't even there. He was hanging out in the most un-American country in the world, fucking France. I knew it. I knew that I was right about them. They took Thomas Jefferson away from being really important and writing the Declaration of Independence. Maybe that's why we put him on the goofy-ass $2 bill. It wasn't good enough. Also, did you know they still make $2 bills? But they don't print as many of them, and also people think they're rare, so they hoard them so they look even more rare, but they still make them. Did you know that? That's a fun fact. I thought that was fun. But it turns out that only 6 founding fathers signed both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And of those 6, there is only one household name, Benjamin Franklin. And we're going to talk about him today. He is so horny. We're about to talk about the horniest founding father. That's right, in 2026, we're ditching the old communism in every video. This year's for weird facts about Benjamin Franklin in every video. Even though he's a founding father and a freaking colonial sheets, Ben Franklin is probably best known as a prolific inventor. But if you think about it, his portfolio isn't that impressive when you think about how nothing was invented yet. No one invented stuff yet, so he had a pretty easy time doing that. If you wanted to invent something nowadays, good luck. I mean, Temu makes everything that you wouldn't even...
I mean, I don't want to take credit away from him bashing him. Bash the fuck out of these niggas, bash him. But you could say the same with like the Greek philosophers like Socrates and them. They made very basic ideas of rhetoric and ethos and pathos. All those ideas and more, and it seems so basic and so like simple now, but back in ye olde days when niggas was out here starting fires by hand, them brothers was cooking. Them niggas was making out. They was cooking. That was some new revolutionary shit nobody thought of, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I see where you're coming from at this point, but like sometimes, like even though nobody was inventing shit yet, like the fact that he made that shit, it kind of shows his brilliance. Like physics, for example. Like everybody understands some if not most of the laws of physics, not all the laws of physics, but most of the laws of like thermodynamics and shit, like equal and opposite forces, reaction, and all that shit. But like back then, when he was making that shit, he was cooking up something crazy. So I say all that to say, hindsight is 2020, and we should. And sometimes, you know, it's their inventions. They seem really simple, but they really paved the way. You know what I'm saying? That's why.
Want. Just sitting around your house like, is there a tool that would help you open up pistachios when they're too closed off and there's no crack? There is? Okay, we're out. That's everything. That's literally everyone's invented everything. But back in the day, you could invent practically anything and it would probably be useful and life-changing. What I'm saying is, Benjamin Franklin definitely ran up the score. But some of his most celebrated inventions aren't even his, by the way. Like the odometer, streetlights, volunteer fire departments, and daylight saving time. But let me extend a big you to whoever actually did invent daylight.
What is the point of daylight saving time again? I don't remember why we have that shit in America for some fucking reason. Like, it just seems so stupid and fucking pointless. I don't get it.
Savings time. An awful bad thing. I hate you so much. Now, he did sort of create the first library, but it wasn't really a library like we know today. It was a subscription model. And legend has it, he also invented catheters, but you'd be surprised to learn that he didn't do that as well. However, he did make catheters flexible, which... why did it take Benjamin Franklin to come up with that idea? We were sticking rods in our wangs? Jesus Christ. But his biggest lie of all isn't an invention or...
And no. The worst part is that they weren't flexible. We were just out here straight up jabbing people with that motherfucker. Ooh, shit. No anesthesia, by the way. None, nigga. They were doing that shit. Them boys was wide awake, nigga. Just straight. It's crazy.
Even his illegitimate child, but his kite experiment. I personally blame the US education system here for dumbing everything down, but many adults still believe that Franklin discovered electricity, which is just plain wrong. Ancient Greeks observed static electricity all the way back in 600 BCE. Electricity was always a well-known entity on this earth. Try to ignore it. Static electricity, one, but also like lightning strikes, you're like, huh, no one look into that. I have no need to learn about that. And all this drama about the kite getting hit by lightning, total BS. Obviously, that would have electrocuted the kite. All Franklin did was pick up ambient electricity, proving that lightning was electric. Which, no shit. You don't need to fly a kite in a lightning storm to prove that, you goddamn moron. And also, officially, that had already been figured out by a French physicist, Thomas, whatever the f***, a month earlier. So not only is this a lie, it is the most boring story in the world. Benjamin Franklin flew a kite. That's the long and short of it. Okay, so I'll admit it.
He flew a kite in a storm. Oh, thank you so much, Benjamin Franklin. You are a hero.
A lot of these lies are just misconceptions or myths. I understand that. I'm having fun. Don't get mad at me. Of course, I know that these legends aren't part of a grand conspiracy. They're just part of human need to tell a story. And any embellishment or false memory that makes the story better usually sticks. However, that's...
I can't lie. I love a story, though, bro. I love a good story. That's why I fuck with J. Cole so much. He be telling some mad, tough-ass stories, no cap. That new Fall Off album he just dropped. Hey, no cap, nigga. I was listening to, I think it was Quick Trip on the way to an interview, bro. Or coming back from the interview. Bro, no cap. When that nigga said, it's the difference you make. Tears, nigga. Tears, bro. I'm talking about, nigga. Like, I wasn't out here crying like, well, I was sitting there and that bitch like Denzel, nigga, just letting that bitch flow. You know what I'm saying?
Not to say America hasn't had its fair share of hustlers, con artists, and flat-out liars. In fact, we've had some real doozies in our time, and I'd like to talk about them. Let's honor our best and worst Americans with a Mount Rushmore of American liars. Let's talk about it. The first face I'm carving into the rock is our 37th president, Richard Nixon. You know someone's a real good old huckster when their nickname is Tricky Dick. How did that man become...
Liquid Dick? His name is Tricky Dick? You're fucking crazy, Richie. Oh my God, Richard. Goddamn.
President with a nickname like that. Nixon fed public a bunch of lies about the dangers of the devil's lettuce to justify starting a war on drugs, even though he knew full well that it wasn't as dangerous as he claimed. He also lied and said he wasn't bombing Cambodia during the Vietnam War, even though he definitely was.
Bombing the fuck out that shit. I'm not gonna lie. Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan, y'all are fucking Lucifer and Satan. Like, pick your poison, bro. No cap.
was. It's absolutely insane that Nixon thought he would get away with bombing an entire nation for a full year just by saying it wasn't happening, but this was before the internet, so maybe it could have worked. I don't know. And then there's Watergate, well, a scandal that involved people from Nixon's camp stealing Democratic files. It was a Bush League robbery that happened at a hotel, and Nixon denied it hard. He even persuaded his aides to commit perjury, but eventually it became undeniable that he was involved, especially since Nixon was paranoid and recorded every conversation he had in the Oval Office. And one of these tapes actually caught Nixon discussing using the CIA to block the FBI's investigation. I mean, holy shit, dude. You were knowingly recording yourself. What did you think was gonna happen with these? Nixon denied and lied for as long as he could, but after this smoking gun tape came out, he had no choice but to resign. And people think he's the worst president, but I don't know. I don't know at this point. Now, the next person on this list is such a liar and piece of shit that there's an entire con artist scheme made around.
Honestly, bro, I think we're just so desensitized to things, like, because that Watergate scandal was crazy, but the shit that's happening now with the files, how the fuck is he even still here? How is he not in a cell underneath the earth? The implications coming out of those files of the things he might have done? Jesus Christ.
Him. I'm talking about the one and only Charles Ponzi. Even before he began his infamous scheme, Ponzi was hustling. After arriving in America from Italy in 1903, he got a job as a dishwasher, working his way to a waiter before being fired for stealing from the restaurant and its customers. A few years later, he got caught forging signatures on checks and was sent to prison for 3 whole years. But whereas most people might rethink their life once they got out of the slammer, when Ponzi was released, he jumped right back into shady dealings, this time allegedly smuggling illegal.
Man, they couldn't keep this nigga out the game if they wanted to, nigga. No cap. They could keep this nigga out the game. He a hustler. I'm a grinder. Oh. I get money for real. Oh. No cap.
Immigrants across the border. And even back then, people didn't like that, thrown in jail again. Easy peasy. So at this point, it's clear that Ponzi chose a life of crime. He didn't give a f. Jail was pretty easy for him. And in 1920, he finally hit on his big idea.
Man, jail was probably like vacation to this nigga. I ain't gonna lie, he probably just went to jail to vacation. You know what I'm saying?
Postal coupons. Yes, it sounds unbelievably underwhelming, but he made a whole meal of this shit. Ponzi promised investors huge returns, 50% in just 45 days, by exploiting price differences between Europe and American coupons. And at first, it seems like he was really delivering. The customers were making hand over fist money. I said that wrong. But in reality, Ponzi was just paying old investors with the money from new investors. In the course of just 1 year, he defrauded investors over $20 million, which is so much money in the time he was doing this. $300 million to be exact. I just
damn 300 mil. Damn, hey, that boy, he a hustler, baby. Oh my god, boy, shit, 300 million. My god.
Did the math. Of course, another stint in prison couldn't keep down the old pawns, and in 1925, he tried to get in on the Florida land boom by.
Hey, but he do this shit in this time, bro. He gonna be in jail for the rest of his life, bro. No cap.
Selling tiny slivers of unusable swampland, promising a 200% return in 60 days. He got caught, and he got sent right back to prison. This man does not learn. After he was released, Ponzi was finally deported to Italy, and his final words to reporters were, "I went looking for trouble, and I found it." Put it on my gravestone. That's a hard-ass quote for a very bad man. And finally, let's end it on a seemingly silly one.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it on it. I respect that nigga more than everybody else he just said on the list, and that includes Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Christopher Columbus, Ben Franklin. I respect Ponzi more than all them niggas. No cap.
P.T. Barnum. Have you heard of the name? Given the nature of his work, it's no surprise that P.T. Barnum makes the cut as an all-time great American liar. Aside from singing with way too much vibrato, put that on the screen, being a hustling, over-exaggerating windbag was just part of the showman shtick in the 19th century, and was a skill he would eventually use to create the iconic Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey circus. In fact, all this blustering fanfare seems to be the most celebrated part of this man's entire career. We love a good carnival barker. Come see, come see. I can't do a good impression of those guys, but especially this guy who had like a great rags to riches story. But some of his lies were pretty insane, even for the time. Barnum began his first showman career in 1835, purchasing and exhibiting a blind, paralyzed slave named Joyce Heath. So that's immediately the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. Slavery was illegal in New York at this point, but Barnum exploited a loophole, allowing him to lease Heath for a year for $1,000. Sorry, I didn't know it was gonna get way.
What the fuck kind of loophole is that? What the hell? Bro, America and loopholes, bro. America and loopholes. No cap. It's like bread and wine, peanut butter and jelly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sadder. I thought, okay. So not only was he essentially breaking the law, but he was lying to the public about Heath's history. Might be Heth. I don't know. I should look this up. I should respect this man because, oh man. But Barnum wanted to get a little, oh my God, is it a woman? Did I say a man? Damn, it's a woman. But Barnum claimed she was George Washington's 161-year-old former.
this right here is this is some of the most disgusting shit I have ever fucking seen. I am actually sick to my stomach, bro. I'm gonna throw up. Not gonna lie.
Nurse. And whether people actually believed him or not, they all came in droves to see Heth with their own eyes. When the popularity of her attraction died down, Barnum created more drama by spreading the rumor that she wasn't even a human at all, but instead a mechanical imitation. Oh my God, he's such a bad person. And this drew out more eyes because human beings are disgusting creatures. And Barnum couldn't leave it at that. He even squeezed a few pennies out of her fucking death. Heth passed away in February of 1836, and Barnum had her autopsy performed to the public to prove her age, and over 1,500 people showed up for 50 cents a ticket. When the doctor performed the autopsy, claimed she was only 80, Barnum planted a story in the New York Herald that said the body autopsied hadn't been Heth's. And of course, this is just one of the many awful and terrible lies and hoaxes, of course, across Barnum's entire career. To the point where I can't finish a video that's not so f***ing sad. He claimed to have a real mermaid exhibit, but it was just the head of a torso of a baby monkey sewn onto a fishtail and covered with paper mache. And in 1843, he claimed to have shipped a wild buffalo all the way from New Mexico to...
Bro, this nigga the lamest scammer I've ever seen in my fucking... Bro, this nigga is a lame-ass scammer-ass nigga, bro. He's not even a cool scammer. He's a lame scammer that owns slaves. Boo. This nigga's lame.
The East Coast and said there was going to be an exhibit for them for free. But he didn't have a buffalo from New Mexico. Instead, he cut a deal with a ferry operator bringing people to the exhibit. That way he got a cut of every ride. This spirit was all part of the somewhat delusional but highly effective MO of Barnum, who he himself said, "I don't believe in duping the public, but I believe in first attracting them and then pleasing them." You're a fucking huge piece of shit, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Nigga, a clickbaiter. Nigga's a clickbaiter.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm already out of time. I was going to talk about the Civil War and the Great Depression, but I guess American history is just too full of many lies for one video. Let me know if you want me to do a sequel in the comments down below full of even more super sad and really bad lies. Or you can yell at me and tell me I should go to get deported for besmirching the great name of this country and making fun of Lady Liberty's skirt. Thank you for watching. New videos every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday. Like, comment, and subscribe, and shout out the extra Tuglets. $4 a month. You guys heard me do this speech a billion times, but maybe this is your first time watching. $4 a month to get...
Yeah, but no cap, I really enjoyed this video, bro. Not gonna lie. The history did lie to you. For real. A lot of these dudes, y'all thought they was cool. No, they owned slaves and they did weird shit. But with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If y'all learned anything new, leave it in the comments down below. I'll catch y'all on the next one. We out.